Good afternoon. Okay, what we're going to do right now is, as you know, the one and only Mr. Amir Khan is amongst us. Please give a big round of applause once again, guys. We're going to begin this afternoon session by Mr. Abhijit Pradhan, the brief on the entire event so far.
Okay, I think everyone is waiting, right? Which is a passion for all of us, and bringing Bollywood to office spaces. How do you do that? And that's something unique that Midday has been doing. And recently we've tied up with this extremely special property, if I may say so, Tare Zameen Par, which is an Amir Khan production and direction. And the whole idea is that runners get to meet that celebrity in their own office. And it happens to be, you have to clap after this, right? The winner was from Cadbury. And we'll soon announce who that winner is. I'm sure you guys know already. More than that, I guess one more round of applause for this fabulous product. And before that, can I just call Mr. Anand Kripalu?
Sure.
I think you know him.
Today. Thank you so much. I suppose, Amir really needs no introduction. Particularly, I think, to a film-crazy population like we've got in this country. Absolutely, he needs no introduction. A celebrity, I think, with a difference, right, is the kind of work he does and the commitment he has to do just few big and different ventures. And I think that's what Amir is really about. And that, I think, strikes a chord certainly with me. The fact that each film he makes aims to make a big impact, because it has a deep meaning, I think is what makes him. The audience, I just want to say that it's a special day for the Cadbury family, and thank you for being here amongst us today. Thank you.
Abhijit Pradhan, no. Nipa Shah.
Still.
So you're very...
I think that contest should be a little tougher. Yeah? It was a very easy contest. What is Tare Zameen Par about? Is it about children? Is it about action? Or some 2-3 options were given. Is it about adventure? Is it an adventure film, romance? I really feel, these contests are great, but I would like to see the contests, get really tough. So let me ask you a question. What does Bhuvan score in Lagan? What is the final tally of how many runs Bhuvan makes? Does anyone know?
106.
No. It's 144. Now you have to watch the film very carefully for that, because at one point in the last over, you see the scoreboard behind the bowler, and you get to know how many runs he's already made, and then you add to that the 6 that he scored, and you get to know what he's made. But I'm saying I would love to see contests in which we are really challenged. Yep. Well, having said that, I think it's a great concept. And I'm really happy to be here. I think it is important for us, even as we work, to enjoy what we're doing and have a little bit of fun as we go along. So it's a great initiative that you've taken on. I have to say, in response to what Mr. Anand said, I think that it's, for me, the work that I do is something that I love doing. It's something that I enjoy doing, and I think that's gives me great joy. I don't necessarily do things which are big. I have come to realize. I do things that excite me, that perhaps might be different. I'm not trying to be different, but I find that what I'm attracted to turn out to be films which they don't fall into the regular parameters of mainstream cinema. They don't follow the regular rules of mainstream cinema. And then I'm stuck because I feel, here's a film I want to do. The market doesn't think it's a great film to do. What am I supposed to do? Because I also feel that I'm a responsible person in terms of economics and finance. I think it's extremely important that the people putting in the money into the film, distributors who buy the film, the exhibitor who shows the film in his theater, each one should be able to earn a profit on you know, their investment. I come from a film family. My father has been a producer. So I know what it feels like to an exhibitor who pays a whole lot of money for a film, and then that film doesn't do well and he can't pay the school fees of his children. So I'm extremely conscious and about that. So it's very important for me that when I choose a film, it has to do well economically. So I'm always in a quandary. You know, I find that when Rang De Basanti came to me, 4 Bhagat Singhs had come, and the fourth of the fourth, the last of the 4 rather, had released 2 months before Rakesh Mehra was narrating the script to me. So I said to Mehra, I said, यार अभी 4th वाली आई है और कुछ खास, चारों कुछ खास नहीं चली है, और तू 5वीं बनाना चाह रहा है. मतलब it is utter madness. And but I love the script, and I said we must do it, and it is our job as creative people and as people who think that we are good in our work, how to take on this challenge and make it work. So it's very important to follow your beliefs. And at times you might feel that I'm the only guy believing in it. Nobody else seems to believe in this. But you should follow your dreams, and you must have the ability to be practical with it and to make it work. You know, I think that's important, because it's important for you to succeed in your dreams as well. So you dream and you want to fulfill your dreams, you must. But be aware of the practical side. Don't spend 100 crores on a film which cannot earn more than 20. Make it in 15 crores. But do that. Don't say कि ठीक है मैं ये नहीं करूँगा, मैं अभी 100 crore की film ही करूँगा. I think it's very important for all of us to follow our heart. Another extremely important thing, since I'm here in a business house, I think it's important for me, and in my professional life, I have always tried to, apart from follow my instinct, follow my heart, and do work that I want to do, and to make it practically possible. I think the process of making the film is perhaps equally, if not more important to me than the result. We don't know what the result is ever going to be. We never know what the result is going to be. But at least we can make the process joyful. And it should be joyful not only for me, we take to make a film. And that, I think, is such an important thing in all our lives. We don't know what the end is going to be. You know, none of us are in control of that. But what we are in control of is making our daily life happy, and in doing something we believe in, and in taking care of each and every one on the set. As a producer, that's my responsibility, to make the experience for everyone a happy one. It's important to be fair as a producer. As a boss, it is my responsibility to be fair to the people I hire. And these are things that are important to me, which I think all of us go through and understand. I'm speaking too much, I think. Yeah? But this was more in response to what I heard, actually. And I'd love to take questions from... Have you all seen the film, by the way? How many of you all have seen the film? Sold out. So, well, some of you all have seen it at least, and I'm hoping that the others would get a chance to see it soon. Any questions, guys? Well, the script is entirely written by Amol Gupte, and I think he's done a wonderful job of the script. And this was his attempt to take a peek into a child's mind who perhaps is not able to grapple so well with academics. And it shows his spirit. It's more about his spirit. 3 into 9, he doesn't know the answer. Now he's wondering, everyone else is writing the paper. Dekh raha hai yahan, abhi main kya bolu? And his way of dealing with a problem that is in front of him is to go into his imagination. And he goes into his imagination and he imagines planet 3 ko main 9 mein into kar dunga. So he grabs hold of planet 3 and bangs it into 9, and 9 explodes. So he figures, so that's his imagination. Now his answer may be wrong mathematically, but he has dealt with the problem in his own way, Yeah.
What are the 2 most important things that you see in a script before you decide to actually take a movie on? What is the deciding factor? How do
I think for me, when I'm listening to a script or when I'm reading a script, at that time I'm the audience. And I react to it instinctively. I either like it or I don't like it. Either the script is able to move me, I laugh, I cry. When I heard Tare Zameen Par, I must tell you that halfway into this narration, I was bawling. I was like really weeping my way through it. So I said, Amol, ek second, main abhi aaya. I went to the bathroom, got a towel, and I sat down. I said, हाँ, abhi continue kar, because I needed a towel to, wipe my tears. So at that time, I'm the audience, and I'm reacting very instinctively to it. And if I like it, it really moves me. Then I want to be part of it. I think that's the best way I can answer that, really. Yeah. It's something which is instinctive. I can't explain sometimes. After I decide that I want to do it, then I look at the practical side. Okay, there's no romance, there's no heroine. Why would the market be interested in it? How will I get people to be interested in a film like this? There are other films releasing around which have got a lot of ingredients which are popular. This, I believe, is going to be popular, but it doesn't have the obvious elements of being popular. So how do I make it succeed? Comes the practical side of it. I want to do it, I love it. Now I have to figure out how to make it succeed, because it's extremely important that this is a mass medium, and I'm an actor, I'm not really a producer. I mean, I have happened to produce 2 films, but so the money doesn't excite me. What excites me is my ability to communicate to a large audience and tell them a story, make them laugh, make them cry, move them. That is what excites me. So when the distributor tells me, sir, aaj we've done this much in this theater, I have no idea what that means. So each time a distributor tells me, Rajasthan mein, ye theater mein, itna record break kiya, ye dhanda kiya. So I'm saying, is that good or bad? I mean, that number of so many lakhs in the first day, is it a good number or a bad number? I don't know. So I'm really looking at the audience's face. Are they laughing? Are they crying? Are they enjoying what I've made for them?
One question, this film is about children. Brand Cadbury is all about growing up with chocolate. What's been your experience with Brand Cadbury?
Okay, this is a plug one, is it? No, I have to honestly answer your question. I think I've really enjoyed Cadbury all my life. My favorite chocolate has been actually the Cadbury milk chocolate. And at one time, when I was working as an assistant director, I remember this is between the age of 18 and 21 or 22. We used to have long hours, I used to be working around the clock pretty much. So I remember I used to live on the fruit and nut. The Cadbury fruit and nut is what I used to live on.
You just spoke about this entire concept where you said it's very important for people to have fun in the entire process of creating a product or a movie per se.
It's extremely important. I think if we don't enjoy our work, then, as I said earlier, the process of making the film has to be fun and enjoyable. So for me, it begins with my selection of what I'm doing. Because when I select a film, I know I'm committing a year or 2 of my life to that film. Is it something I want to give 1 year or 2 years of my life to? Collecting a team of people around me. Because filmmaking is very much a team effort, and it is a lot of human management, a lot of interaction. What comes out ultimately is a result of a lot of interaction between me and my cast and my crew. So I need to pick people who are not only talented and are appropriate for the material, but also people who are fun to be with. I think sense of humor is such an important ingredient in all of us. I find that I normally move towards a crew member who has a great sense of humor, I think that's really important to me.
Are the paintings in the last, those 2 paintings which were selected for the show, was it kind of gallery kind of school, or it was just the film side?
You've seen the film. The last 2 paintings you're referring to are the one that Ishan makes and the one that Nikum sir makes. Well, both these paintings have been painted by Samir Mondal, who is one of the finest artists we have in our country today. He's an excellent watercolorist. So Sameer Da actually had the difficult task well, painting for me as an adult was one thing, but to paint for a child is not easy. And to paint from the point of view of a 9-year-old child and make it a winning painting is not an easy task, which I think he carried off really well. He also gave me a lot of tips on the basics of watercolors and what kind of medium that is, which was great because I would have got it wrong completely had I not got that. I don't know how many of you all paint over here, but watercolors, as Sameer Da describes, is an extremely naughty medium. It's constantly changing though. The watercolors are moving around, they spill, they slide, they move. And when I watched him paint, he was almost like a ballet dancer. He would be on his knees and the canvas would be in front of him at a slight angle. And he would be, his movements were very quick and he would put some color, take a cloth he had a cloth with him in his left hand and he would dab, to soak. He wanted to reduce the intensity of the water maybe or the color and he would dab it and soak it as he went along. And I remember when he first said, okay, here's the canvas, choose a brush and so I picked a fine brush, He said, no, not this one. So I said, which one? So he picked up a brush which was nice and thick, almost like the kind we used to paint walls. So I thought he was joking, such a thick brush. But that was the brush he used, to paint that painting, among other brushes. But he began with that, and he said, he said you have to be very rough with your colors. You have to be, because they are part of you. They are not something alien which you're doing carefully. It is something that you're totally close to. So I kind of got a lot of help from Sameer Da. Yeah. Sorry, not on the? You mean use the paintings in the film? I think those two paintings that Sameer Da has made are very close to me, so I don't want to part with them. But to answer your question in other ways, I think we have been doing a number of initiatives on charity through this film. And one of the most important ones we have done is with an organization called Saraswati Mandir Trust. Have you seen the film? You've seen the film. There is a portion in the film which is Tulip's school. And Saraswati Mandir Trust runs two schools. One is Tulips and one is Saraswati Mandir School. And these schools, both these schools are for children with severe challenges, with severe difficulties. Children with autism, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, blind with cerebral palsy. So we have attached ourselves to that trust, the Saraswati Mandir Trust, try and raise money, and I think we've managed to raise more than 50 lakhs for them. And outside of that, it was a great experience to have them to be part of the film, because those children are in 2 or 3 scenes. The children are with us in scenes, and it was really amazing to see the way they perform. They perform on stage on their annual day, and they are singing and dancing to songs which you and I might have difficulty, or we might feel shy about stepping on a stage and dancing to Dhoom, and here were these kids doing that. So it was a great experience. Yeah.
Okay guys, we have just last 2 questions to take.
How hard was it for you to make choices?
Sorry, come again.
How hard was it for you to make choices
In life? I think all my big decisions have been extremely difficult. I'll point out a few of them. I'll start with my decision to get into the films. My family is from the films. My father and both my uncle are from films. But everybody I knew, and certainly my family, was against me getting into the films. Now that is a big decision for me. It is something that I wanted to do. And I can understand where my parents were coming from. I think having been through this profession, they felt there are too many uncertainties, uh, too many disappointments. Your successes and failures are public. And I think they wanted to protect me and shelter me from the uncertainties of a line like this. They wanted me to be a doctor or an engineer or a management student, chartered accountant. None of which I had a hope in hell of succeeding in. Uh, but that was what their dreams were, and that is what they wanted me to be. And I actually, after my 12th, I decided that I want to be in the films and I want to start working as an assistant director. And that really upset not only my family and but all my friends, people who were my age. Everyone told me, "Ke Amir, at the very least you have to be a graduate. You cannot kick up your college and start, working in films. And you cannot give up your education." And I said to them, actually, I'm starting my education. If this is what I want to do, if films is what I want to do, then I don't know why I should waste another 3 years learning commerce. I want to start educating myself in the field that I want to be in. And I worked for 4 years as an assistant director in the field. It is a very tough decision because my friends, my cousins, people my age, people older than me, they all said, you're finished, you're mad, you're not going to survive out here. And I said, look, I have to do what I have to do. And I'm very clear that I'm not wasting 3 years learning something that I don't want to be. And I, took the decision. So that was a very tough decision, and I took the decision at the age of 18, I think I was. Along the way, there have been other very tough decisions for me. Like, I faced a very tough period in my life, professional life, when QSQT released. It was a big success, and then I had 3 or 4 films release after that in the coming year, and all of them bombed. And I was being called the one film wonder by the media, and rightly so. Rightly so, because I had only one film and all the others were flops. That was a very tough period for me because I'll take a little time to answer this, so just bear with me. But when my first film was a success, I signed on around 8 or 9 films after that. At that time, actors were doing 30 to 40 films simultaneously. You won't believe it now, but that is a fact. They were doing 30 to 40 films at the same time. And I figured, I should not do more than 10 and I'll be all right. I was completely wrong. I discovered to my horror that I shouldn't be doing more than one film at a time. Or at least the way I'm made, I can't. But I had committed to these 8 or 9 films. And I also realized that I had made certain mistakes while selecting these films. And I was not happy with the films, the way they were turning out. But I had given my commitment, I had given my word to these films. But I knew that they are disasters. I knew that some of them may go on to become successes even, but I don't believe in them. That was a tough period for me, because on the one hand, my films were flopping. On the other hand, I was saddled with a number of films I was not happy with. What am I supposed to do at that point of time? And I was getting fresh offers. Somehow people still had faith in me and they were offering me new films. I took a very tough decision at that time. I said, I'm not signing a single film until I finish all of these 8. First, I have to finish my commitment. I can safeguard myself. I can put these 8 films on the back burner, not give them dates, sign fresh films, and films that I'm happy about, and do those. I decided not to do that. I said, first I must honor my commitments. If it is a mistake that I have made and today I feel I'm not happy, I must bear the responsibility of that and not push it on to anyone else. And I have to work within these 8 films and try and make one of them work so that I can have a second innings and come back, into success. So I did not sign any film. I worked on those films. I spent 3 years completing those films. And at that time, I promised myself that never again will I sign a film until I really want to do it. And that's a decision I have stuck to for the last 17 years of my life. And it was a very tough decision at that time because I was heading for disaster. But I decided that if I compromise now, all my life I will compromise. this decision is a tough one. I have to take it now and I have to be strong now. And I'm so glad I took that decision. And even those films that I did I'm not happy with were a huge learning experience for me. I knew exactly why I didn't want to be part of them. And by completing them, I made myself remember that you're never going to make this mistake again. You know?
One question from my side.
Yeah,
On
yeah.
a lighter note, recently I've read an article which says that you don't believe in carrying mobile phones. Today I see no wristwatches on your, wrist. How do you manage your time?
Well, I've come here with no time constraints. And actually, I do not like mobile phones. You're absolutely right. But in the last 1.5 month, I have been using a cell phone because I needed to be in immediate contact with my cast and crew and my technical team who were working on the film. So I do have a cell phone right now, but I'm hoping that I switch it off on the 31st of December, never to be switched on again.
Yeah.
Equally so, I feel nowadays parents are much more pressure than children. Is driven against the wall and somehow very judgmental in each and every decision. It's as simple as buying a toy to not buying a toy to, everything that goes on.
Well, you're absolutely right. I think all of us have pressures, and I think modern life brings its own pressures on all of us, and we are all in our own ways trying our best to deal with it. Some of us deal with it well, some of us don't deal with it well. Some of us deal with it well sometimes and don't at other times. I think, in this case, we've certainly picked a topic which is about children, and I think it's something that is very close to my heart. It's a script that I was very moved by. When I read the script, I felt that it sensitized me more towards not only my children, but children in general. And I felt that what I have gained from this, listening to the script, I want to share with everyone. A film about adults with pressures. That will be a huge script, an unending one. But I'll give it a thought.
I want to make a sequel to Sarfarosh. That is my favorite movie. And
You know, I'd love to.
I was trying to do Lethal Weapon series, and I already saw that.
Yeah, in fact, I've mentioned this to John, and John has said to me that he's going to start working on a script, which is in fact a sequel to Sarfarosh. I don't know, the media is here, so I don't want to make any promises, because the moment I sneeze, it comes in the press the next day.
We'll do a tough one.
But I hope it happens. Right now, I think John is thinking about it. Whenever he gets the time, he'll work out the script. But if it happens, I myself will be very happy, because I think it's a great, it's great material, and the characters are very much there for us to use. Yeah.
Amit, in the movie, when you give the example of selling it to the father Vishal, he just goes away after that without meeting his child. But he realized at the moment that his child is really working hard. Then why does he go away?
Well, he goes away because he's so emotionally disturbed, and he's so emotionally overcome. And in the second before this, he's suddenly realized how insensitive he's been to his child, and he's feeling so bad and guilty about it that when he sees his child, he doesn't have the strength to go and hug his child. He wants to go and hug his child at that time, but he doesn't have the strength. So he's too emotionally moved, and he just runs away.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much, guys. I thought Amit said there's no time.
Yeah, and I thought this was supposed to be a lunch thing. I don't see any lunch here.
Cadbury.
I will help myself, yes. Yeah.
We really look forward to most of your movies because they've been thematic, they've been soul-searching. But we always had a want like, Cadbury chocolate movies available in the market. We don't get enough out of them. So going forward now that you're a director, you think there are people doing more than one film. Can we look forward to more films in a year, or
I think the pace I work at, it'll probably be, a film a year. In certain years, there might be 2 films. Like, I think last year I had Rang De Basanti and Fana, both released in the same year. After Fana, it's been a gap of a year and a half before Tare Zameen Par has come about. And after TZP, my next film would probably come out next year in anywhere between August and Diwali. So 8 months from now, 9 months from now. But the average is about a film a year. I can't work any faster. I would love to, but then I can't give each film the kind of time and attention that I would like to. And I can't give myself and my kids the time and attention that I want to. As a creative person, I feel that I won't be able to give an output if I don't have inputs. So each time I finish a film, I'm exhausted. And I need to just be with myself, I need to read, I need to meet people, I love interacting with people. Learn about different things. And as an actor, I like to observe people, pick up their mannerisms and traits, like I'm observing all of you all now. But these inputs help me to come out with my next film.
Profession, picture. Second profession.
I would have loved to be a sports person. I love sports. In fact, I used to be one of the top ranked players in Maharashtra in lawn tennis, in the sub-junior level. And I love teaching actually. I think I teach really well. It's something I enjoy doing. So it's something that in fact, quite honestly, that's something I definitely want to do. I think once I'm ready to retire, I would like to open a small school. But I would like it to be a film school. It's something that I would like, whatever I've learned and gained, I would like to pass on to people after me, kids. Not a very big school. I would like to have 10 or 12 students, just a small number of students.
Which subjects?
Filmmaking. Filmmaking, yeah.
Amar, as a director, first film has been appreciated and it's been working. So, are you going to continue doing the direction?
Yeah, I'll continue to direct. I don't know when. It's been a great experience, and I'll probably do work the way I've been doing as an actor. So I'll wait for the right project to come along, which excites me, and so I don't know when I'll direct my next film.
So, are you going to cast yourself or the other?
Ideally not. I would ideally, when I'm directing a film, I would rather not act in it. So that my first attempt would be to get actors other than myself. So unless it's really essential that I need to play the role, I won't.
Amar, is currently after multitasking, production, direction, and acting. So, experience.
Achara, I think I'm not a person who can multitask very well. I find मुझसे एक चीज़ बड़ी मुश्किल से होती है, तो दो चीज़ें तो बहुत ही मुश्किल से होती हैं. But I think I did the best I could, yeah.
Amit, is it last year, Hera Fry, this year, sorry. Is it easier for them to maybe, come out and get a film and write a script and get support from you as a director?
I don't know whether it's easier or not. I think that films, I don't see a dramatic shift. There are changes, no doubt. There are pros and there are cons. I think that filmmaking has been something that has been happening all along. We've always made the same number of films. Even 10 years ago, we were making almost 1,000 films in the year, and that's pretty much the same, maybe here and there a little bit. What has changed dramatically is, I think, the audience has changed. I think people today want to see different kinds of films. They want to see films of different topics. I think there are a lot of films which address a particular kind of audience, a niche audience, and so a lot of that is happening. So that is a definite change I see. You have many more films which are very, very unusual coming out. Corporate setup with cinema is a tricky combination, and one that I hope succeeds. It on two levels. I think one is that, you see, because filmmaking is such a human thing, it is so much human interaction, and there are so many things which you cannot put in boxes. You cannot, put into barriers. If I have to explain to a board of director or a bunch of board of directors why I'm going 25 lakhs over budget and I need a clearance from them, then I can't make a film. You know, by the time I get that clearance, you know, I've lost 10 days of shooting. So it has to be something, I think that when corporates come into a field which is so creative, they need to understand that they have to let go of the reins a little bit. And they have to support the person that they trust. And then go with that. So I, for one, cannot function unless I'm in charge and creatively I'm taking the decision. If I have to check with somebody, I can't work.